I see this early 1-2-3 progression. I feel like RNG is going to have an awkward moment around the 15-minute mark, especially since I feel like they're going to have a hard time killing heroes.
No, I definitely agree with you. I believe that RNG's lineup looks more solid and just a standard draft. They have everything they need. They have the sustain, the pushing power, objective takers, pretty much everything. On the side of Geek Fam, it looks all over the place, which doesn't necessarily make their draft bad, as long as they have the proper idea behind it.
Yeah, for Geek Fam, they're looking at this and saying, like, okay, they have very little lockdown, right? They've only got telekinesis as an instant disable, then they only have the follow-up of Magic Missile. Yeah. So Storm has a kind of quote-unquote free game. But Omni is still a counter to Storm Spirit, and Sustain heroes in general are counters to Storm Spirit, because what Storm really likes is being able to burst somebody down. He has a set amount of damage when he rolls in and he hits you, he pulls you back, pulls you into the Remnant, right-clicks you a couple times. He hopes that's enough. With Sustain heroes like Omni Knight and Lifestealer, who actually helps a lot with his Infest, if RNG is around each other, they're going to be saving each other from the Storm Spirit.
Exactly, and literally you will have to be initiating on this Omni Knight, but the problem with that is you have the Vengeful Force swap, and you have the lift from Rubik too, so there are potentials of just saving the
Royal Jelly, super good item on him. The initiation onto the top lane, that's going to be a 3-man gank onto Raven. He is level 6, but the Nightmare briefly saving him, but that is not enough. As you see, really good rotation to pick on this squishy hero like Drow. Usually Drows leave their safe lane when they get level 6 for that exact reason. You are quite vulnerable compared to most other carries, and that's something that I don't think Drow fits the mold of carries this patch, where they like to do what this Lifestealer is doing, just chill in bottom while the rest of his team makes this 4-man rotation and pressure the Drow. Big stack here. Oh yeah, point of contention.
Let's see who's able to grab a hold of this one. Setsu, he's coming in, and they'll burst down Dubu there with the raises, and they'll be able to secure this stack for themselves.
Ooh, keen optic for Rubik. That's a nice item as well. Always builds that ether lens, so cast range very nice.
Look at that farm step. It's 3k lead now, certainly off the back of these moves, and the gap between the SF and the Storm increases. You saw there, the Storm, he tried to come towards the top when that player's made onto the Drow, but it always feels awkward, right? If you're making that move as a level 7 Storm, you're really hurting your own game, because you're really not ready to have that much of an impact on the side lanes. You've got to try and find the farm, and by sort of wasting time doing this, he's slipping further and further behind, whereas Setsu, he's been cleaning up the entirety of that central area of the map without any issues, and he's even able to come across, get involved in a stack, get involved in a kill.
Just a lot of passivity from Geek Fam's lineup between the Drow and the Storm, kind of like you're talking about. And the reason why I said I don't like Drow first round is because of exactly what you're seeing here. This is a predictable weakness of Drow, and it's exploitable if the opponent has picks to do it. And that's why I don't like the first round Drow, because if their heroes can't invade you early like this, Drow looks really strong. But the minute she's getting ran at continuously like this, she does not want this at all. Level 6, usually like a hero that's considered very efficient now with her third spell, clearing creep waves and camps entirely. But now if she's like forced to have teammates play around her while the opponent Lifestealer is just chilling bottom, it really shows in the rest of the hero's efficiency. That difference. Like, you're not seeing the difference in carries. They're both going to farm, but Drow needs help while the Lifestealer does not. And the outpost here at 10 minutes, Lifestealer getting bottom while this fight goes on top.
They're going to try and fight off the Omni, but he's very tanky. Dubu now going to get turned upon. Zephyr tries to jump in with the combo on September, but it's not enough burst. September turns with the grab. Zephyr's going to be forced away. The stolen stolen orb actually, bringing Zephyr down low. A few more right clicks. Zephyr, he's trying to escape this. One more jump, and he will get away. But still, Geek Fam, unable to sort of have the power to make the plays that they want to. Even KUKU coming up to this top lane to try and get involved. But it's just not going to work out. They've got to respect the power that RNG have, and it's going to be hard for them to hold onto this tier 1 tower, as RNG, they feel the strength that they have right now.
And the problem with Legion as an offlaner is she doesn't want to be doing this right now. And look at Omni Knight, he's chilling, man. He's so happy to Heavenly Grace himself, Heavenly Grace the SF, heal his teammates, push towers. Like, he's perfectly fine grouping up at this stage in the game. And this is why I think Abaddon and Omni Knight are strictly better versions of Legion this patch, because this is what this patch looks like, and this is what these heroes prefer to do, and not what Legion wants to be doing. She wants to be exploiting heroes that are alone, pressuring them out of lane. Lifestealer is effectively this hero that she can't touch unless they 3-man gank him, and you never really want to 3-man gank a Lifestealer. That doesn't feel good either. It's just awkward to play Legion this patch, and you're really seeing it play out in this game with why I love Lifestealer. Like, he doesn't do anything fancy, but you just can't mess with him. And look at the heat map of Rubik. That's showing, like, the entirety of RNG is just like, hey, we're going to play top all game. Like, Lifestealer, do your thing.
Yeah, and I mean, Lifestealer's build, I love it, right? After the Maelstrom, Halberd straight away. As soon as he has that, I mean, we're already seeing, Geek Fam, their cores, they don't do enough damage. If he disarms one of these, Geek Fam's going to have nothing in the fights to get anywhere close to finding a kill.
Absolutely. And I was originally thinking the Armlet Deso build, but if he wants to go more efficiency-based, I'm absolutely fine with that with the Maelstrom. The way he's playing it, I don't mind people's items if they're different than I envisioned, if he's going to play it different than I envisioned, and that is what he's doing. He is playing very accordingly to buying this Maelstrom. I think once he gets one or two components of that Halberd, maybe just the full Sange, maybe the full Halberd, he's going to start participating in the fights. But as of now, he's completely chill to be doing what he's doing, and without that Maelstrom, this just wouldn't be efficient.
Yeah, no, it certainly speeds up that pickup of the next time, and we're seeing it 12 minutes, 5K, full 5K lead for RNG. They're 3 cores at the top of the net worth as they move around the map, just taking objective after objective, just the 4 of them, all the space in the world for the Lifestealer to be wherever he wants to. Another tier 1 tower taken. RNG, I mean, I'm seeing exactly what you sort of said to expect to at the start there. They have a clear ways to make moves. You can see what this lineup wants to do, and 12 minutes in there, they're doing everything that they wanted to.
To simply put this draft in the way that I view it, like without all the details, Omni Knight good hero, Legion not good hero. Like that's how I feel about the current patch right now. I've hardly played Omni Knight any in the past, and I've picked him up for 4 or 5 games this patch, and I've only lost 1, and that was because I messed up. And I'm like, wow, if I had played this hero optimally, I think we would have won this game. And sometimes, for whatever reason, you pick heroes, and they just seem to naturally fit with the way the game wants to be played, and he's one of them currently this patch. And I also like that they picked Rubik in the second round, because Rubik's so good against Omni. He usually becomes like a better Omni, so they almost like covered the counters for Omni Knight as well. The Venge gives you an extra save, making it so the Omni Knight is not as nearly a juicy target. They are making a move to bottom, pretty much what you have to do when you're down by 6,000, possibly looking for this Rubik with the coil. It snaps, but he's already got the Venge behind him, and they might even be looking to turn this, TPing in Setsu. Meanwhile, Lifestealer just farming up the mid lane. But he's just going to TP out.
Oh, he's not going to be able to get away. Telekinesis will find him. September able to slam down Zephyr. And it just feels a little painful from Geek Fam. Trying to force that play underneath the tower with the Dream Coil, warrants in nothing but his own death. Zephyr still...
I love Super's TP here. Immediately knowing that because they're no longer bottom, and they were bottom, they can't be anywhere else. They have to have had walked mid, right? There's no other lane that Geek Fam could have headed to, and he knows that just making sure they give no openings to this Geek Fam lineup. A lot of single target disable, pretty much exclusively pick off, other than that Dream Coil, which is already expended. As long as you don't feed random cores, which we've been seeing teams like NIP, as well as, who was the other team that was ahead yesterday?
Nigma?
Yeah, Team Nigma, yeah. When you're ahead, and you feed your core kills, suddenly the game can open wide up. Open wide for teams like this pick-off heavy lineup for Geek Fam, but they are not giving them an inch.
No.
And it's 15-minute bounties. Looking to make a move with that. Monet's quite strong, level 12.
Oh, he's ready to go, and he's found Raven, moves in immediately with the Rage. There's no chance for the Gust to silence him for now. Raven still able to back off. He has enough of those early stat items to walk away. The same cannot be said, though, for Dubu. Taken out by a couple of razors from Setsu. RNG still get a kill. It's not the drought, but at this moment in time, it doesn't really matter. Any sort of kill, and RNG has more than enough space to just continue to take down further objectives.
The map control movement, right? Like, look at what Geek Fam's forced to do. They're forced to leave this area. You get the tower. They're gonna like try to trade in terms of lane pressure top, but Drow's really the only hero that hits towers, and Drow is the one getting bullied away there. So knowing that Drow's the vulnerable hero to get picked on, and assuming she's gonna be in that ancient triangle area, just a really smart map movement by RNG. I really like the way they're playing this out. If you have this type of advantage, these are the games where it's supposed to, this is what these games are supposed to look like when you have this 7K, 8K net worth advantage. Thinking about what the enemy heroes do to come back, in this case, Drow farming the Ancient Triangle, and just exploiting that. Because you have such an advantage, they can't really do anything about it.
Very smart item progression from RNG as a whole. You know, you can see Omni's getting the pipe online. I believe Venge was picking up the helm, so getting these auras together. And that BKB for SF, I think Setsu, he's pretty much got it done. So at that point, when this BKB SF is moving down lanes with the backup, they've not been able to do anything before these items are out. Once they're out, they're just going to look helpless, Geek Fam.
Yeah, trying to make a little bit of space in the mid lane is the puck, but that's just a 4-position puck. That's 2,800 net worth 16 minutes into the game, and he just got 3-shotted by SF along with a purification from the Omni. Everyone's just so squishy on Geek Fam. They require so many heroes to do enough damage to bring anybody down. At this point, what that results in is just very predictable movements by them, which become exploitable, which RNG can play very efficiently, playing 2-2-1 on the map. They're farming 3 different portions of the map, 1 save sitting behind the SF, and 1 save sitting behind your Lifestealer bottom. Just very efficient. They're just, how do you punish this? If you're Geek Fam's perspective, do we go on the Omni Knight here? He is under a dire ward. This is a big opening if they can get it.
Let's see if they can try. They'll jump in. They'll perfectly hold off the silence out of the stun. They have the duel, and they will get the kill. Geek Fam able to get their first kill on the board this game, and it will be a successful duel for KUKU, so that extra bit of bonus damage. Finally able to find something, but it has taken them so many minutes. Monet, maybe they can get more. Monet, he's got the rage popped and still has the backup of Super and Setsu. They could multi-shot's going to be fired out, swapping for Super to try and set up some action as Dubu will be the focus. Another swap, keeping on bringing Geek Fam closer and closer to Setsu, so Setsu can continue to try and punch them down. They do lose Super in that attempt to keep the fight going.
He did infest his Rubik, which is a bit weird. I think you should always infest the right clicker that you pair with the Lifestealer. In the draft, I was really emphasizing that I wanted them to pick a secondary right clicker other than the Lifestealer, and usually you infest that guy. So it's kind of weird that he infested the Rubik there, but all things considered, that seems like best case scenario for Geek Fam, and effectively the same net worth advantage coming out of it, and this is turning into an objective for RNG. So best case scenario really isn't that great.
And there's no chance of a steal by the looks of it. Storm's heading back to base. He has no mana at the moment, so he cannot go for any sort of zip play. An easy...
Oh, Legion got the last hit.
Kill. All right, Legion got the kill on Roche. That's a nice bit of money for Geek Fam. It's something. KUKU able to snatch away the Roche kill.
Going just pure right click on the SF. The nice thing about Omni is you don't even have to itemize armor necessarily, because once you do 5-man, you just have the Guardian Angel. And they have no way to get rid of that. So at the point where you are manning up on them, the armor just doesn't end up mattering. Maybe that does have to do with Monet's build, which I was highly emphasizing the armlet and such. Gonna probably find Dubu here. He's trying to give some jukes in the trees. Does feed a courier in the process. SF actually going for the scouting ulti, potentially trying to, when I say scouting, like cancel TPs, in case that the Bane had run that way. Kind of interesting, now that it does disable technically.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
More towers, 19 minutes in. No signs of slowing down, especially with the Sages. In RNG, they can absolutely start to poke at the high ground right now. There's no reason not to. Setsu is just incredibly huge for this moment in the game. He's already got the Chrysalis flying out, so not only is he going to be very hard to bring down, he is going to pack an insane punch for this 20-minute mark of the game. 11k net worth on this Shadow Fiend. He's just had more than a free game. He's utilized the space that he's had to perfection. K trying to have a bit of a poke, see if they can catch anything.
I love it. Savage supports with Infest.
And maybe even setting up a turnaround. They're going to look to move in. Another swap for Super. Drags back Raven. They're on top of them. The GA's pop, so RNG can commit here. Going past the trees and past the barracks. They'll get Raven. Dubu's got to keep his distance. Setsu pops the BKB. K zipped into the back lines. His mana's a little low. He'll keep his distance. KUKU trying to run in, but no sort of a target that he can open up to, as RNG just focused down the barracks. And Geek Fam cannot push them away. The melee racks are gone. Zephyr tried to jump in to burst down September, but a quick purification heal keeps him fine. They'll lift up KUKU, turn towards the Legion. KUKU will attempt to run away, and with the movement speed he can.
No creeps.
Melee racks dead at 20 minutes in. RNG, everything continues to go to plan.
Stupendous.
Who do you go on, man? They nightmare up the SF, but he's just going to get saved as well. The Venge plus Omni combo, even Rubik had stolen, pressed the attack from Legion. This is what I loved about Lifestealer. I said, you get down low, you force them to focus all of their damage onto you, and then he also just saved himself by infesting, but then saved his Venge by infesting as well. It's 800 damage at level 2, and it is an instant heal. It's not like based on the percentage of your health. If you have 200 health and you infest him, he now has 1,000. So his Venge saved as well, so it's almost like another save. there's just no clear-cut focus for the single target lineup of Geek Fam, and that's the problem when you're looking at the lineup that RNG has. And it really sees the exploitation of the weaknesses that Geek Fam's lineup has through the draft of RNG, really envisioning how this game's going to play out. Really smooth play so far, just marching it down the mid lane, gets Nightmared up, but I just love the way they're playing this. Infest is back off cooldown, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, it's looking pretty unbeatable at the moment. RNG's movements and shot calling, it's been entirely on point. And we'll back off a little bit now. Looking for the courier snipe. K will get it. Takes Super's courier away. Does have the Bloodstone complete on Storm, but feels like a very hard game for him to play. Playing behind against this SF with a BKB, Lifestealer with a Rage, and even if they don't have that, as we keep mentioning, saves from Super and Flywin, they're going to be there. So there's no easy target for K really to jump on and go for a quick kill.
They're doing a good job of cutting creep waves on the side of Geek Fam, but eventually you have to fight this lineup, and I don't know when that point exactly is going to be. They apparently know Zephyr's there. Oh, almost got the lift off. Maybe Sky on the courier? No, it's on the cliff, out of vision, but especially when this Omni Knight gets the pipe, that creep wave's no longer going to get cut. This is a big creep wave. They forward offensively, not nearly as good as it used to be, but it's going to be enough to keep their creep wave alive. And you have a looming threat coming into your base, Geek Fam, and you're going to have to react. Aegis is going to be expiring relatively soon, but I don't even think they need the Aegis, to be honest. It just makes it easier.
Can they stop it? They've already lost half a rack's top. Can they do anything to put a stop to this one? K's going to go for the zip 4. Multi-shots pop it immediately. The GA's there from Monac. September, he's still alive. Finally, they will be able to take a kill. A buyback from September. He knows that his team's still very strong to fight. He wants to be here for potentially the finishing push. A swap from Super trying to set up, but it costs Super his life. So a second kill here for Geek Fam as they start to break down a little bit of RNG, but the three cores are the ones that they cannot seem to touch at the moment. Another jump from Zephyr sets you pots the BKB. A second buyback from RNG, continuing to want to commit everything into this push. K does find September. That's actually a dieback on the Rubik. Great moves from K as he picks apart the heroes he can. KUKU looks for the setup with the jewel. K's on top. Flywin will fall as well. Geek Fam, they've found another. They're doing it slowly but surely, winning this fight. Mona goes for the raise TP and will make it out. But Geek Fam do hold on to the racks and are able to, for the sort of the first time in 23 minutes, not let RNG get away with whatever they wanted.
Yeah, that was really well played. I mean, Storm caught the Rubik by himself trying to return to the fight. Really smart, knowing that the Rubik had to TP most likely to the mid lane, because that is the closest tower to then run to the bottom racks. Really good prediction move there. Cap was saying, if they're together on the side of RNG, they're stronger, but Geek Fam managed to pick them apart a bit there.
Yeah,
and
very impressive.
That was really well played.
You know, considering the situation and considering, as I say, how hard it is for K to sort of find those opportunities, but he does, and he keeps his game. It continues to be clean, 1-0-5, and the Bloodstone charges. He starts to build up the field.
That is step one to them winning this game, and that's what chaotic fights have to look like in order for Geek Fam to take them. And recognizing that's easy, but accomplishing it is not so easy, and they did it there. So very impressed with their play overall in that fight. Daedalus now on SF, even more difficult in fights to be elusive, because this is a high-range right-clicker that right-clicks for 100 or 296 damage without that DD rune popped, which he does have bottled. Critting for 700 already. Going on the Omni Knight, who has the full pipe, maybe looking to duel him up there, but it's just these two. I don't think they have enough damage.
They want to try and commit. They're not going to for now. Yeah, KUKU knows that a duel will not warrant a kill there. He'll stay back, get himself away. RNG starting to group up once more. The four of them going down mid.
Telescope for the Drow lineup. That's a pretty useful item.
This will do nicely.
Giving 4 of their 5 heroes longer attack range.
Yeah, that reach of the multi-shot's going to be pretty devastating, so Raven can sit in a very safe position, which he needs to.
He used the shovel before putting the quickening charm into his inventory.
Oh, the efficiency, Brian.
Grant would be disappointed.
Missing out on that 13% cooldown reduction on his shovel.
Yeah, since nobody buys Midas anymore, we have to replace the Midas efficiency with the shovel efficiency. Because it kind of gives money, you know. 16 out of 100 times it gives money.
Radiant's middle tower is under
So he does complete the full Mjolnir on Lifestealer. Blink Dagger on Rubik is getting caught by the puck with the Storm Sphere falling in. This should be another Bloodstone charge. Will they be able to punish this on the side of RNG? They are super low mana on the Storm, but he has a ward to scout out the Omni running at him, so he just TPs right out. And you were saying they have very few stuns for this Storm, and if they can continue to be able to split this apart, Storm Spirit suddenly looking much more potent, pops the DD on SF. I think you have to be able to force them to come to you on RNG, because catching them is just not realistic. You do have the Blink Dagger on Rubik, but you don't really have that great a follow-up. Yeah, you have Infest, but Lifestealer just doesn't really play that way anymore.
Mid lane, they're going to try for the zip and on Flywin. Omni Knight starting to fall down. Can they bring him out? He's not really got the help. At the same time, Monet's going to be going on top. Geek Fam making multiple plays here across the map. Monet will not be brought down though. Still too tanky for the heroes here to deal with him. As even with that grip, not enough control or time to do the damage required. RNG coming in with these TPs. They're ready to try and chase and punish. Dubu goes for the Self Nightmare as he truly is stuck in one. Surrounded by RNG, Dubu will fall. RNG returns to taking objectives, get this shrine off the map. But you've got, honestly, like the K's play on the Storm, it's as I say, the pressure is on him, but finding these little sort of kills every single time, getting the Rubik, getting these free pickoffs, it's going to help him slowly ramp up that damage output with the boosted spell amplification that those Bloodstone charges will give him. He needs a lot of them, but it's definitely the start of potentially something from Geek Fam, despite sort of having their backs pushed against the walls for the entire opening 20 minutes of this game.
Dude, Shadowfiend is just so yoked, man. He's 4,000. Like, I look at this game and the way it's being played, and I'm almost ready to look at the net worths and be like, wow, Storm's #1 net worth, playing super efficiently around the map, getting pickoffs, cutting waves. But SF's just raid boss central. Yeah. He kind of just does whatever the hell he wants on this game. And I actually like the Shadowblade a lot because he's allowing himself to be like invisible scouting for his Rubik, who's then going to blink in, and he now offers the follow-up. So it is his way of getting into the fight without buying a blink, which isn't really an item you want to buy on right-click. SF, as you see here, they just need to be able to catch people. Bane kind of continuously feeding as Banes usually do at this stage, waiting for Roche. It is going to be a late spawn, but this is all RNG looking to force objectives. Meanwhile, Geek Fam playing cat and mouse, and so far they're doing a good job. They have the Axe come out on a puck, which is super potent against the BKB SF as well as the Lifestealer Rage. They do have Heavenly Grace to remove it, but by no means does that make it bad. They do need it still against the magic immunity coming out from RNG. This SF's just so scary, man. That first hit goes for like 450 damage with the minus armor, ignoring the crit. Craggy Coat on Legion. That's actually a nice item if he wants to hold on to that, even though he is a right-clicking hero. Titan Sliver on Lifestealer. That's also a good item.
And yeah, pretty much completed Basher. It's going to be coming out the way of Monet. Just 100 gold or so short of the Belt of Strength. So there's a little bit of that extra little control that's going to be required against the Storm. You know, suddenly this potential catch from the lift is the magic missile, a bash or two, and that could set up a pretty reliable kill.
He's going for a second Halberd on Omni. Halberd just a super good item on strength heroes now. It used to give damage, but now it gives healing amplification. And so all these like Timbersaws, Bristlebacks, Omni Knights, these offlaners that debatably build Halberd before, now they really feel good about it because they all rely on sustain and healing and not as much on the damage that it used to give. Lifestealer also likes it just because it amps up his Feast lifesteal.
You know, still, I feel you do have to give credit to the fact that Geek Fam, they're holding on as they are. And is another support deck, but you look at the fact that this sort of 5-7k lead, it's been there for a while. You know, RNG, it is definitely easier for them to head high ground, take a racks, but if they do mess up sort of as they did on the bottom lane, start to lose a couple of kills, Geek Fam can begin to swing this. Obviously, it's so hard because of how big this Shadow Fiend is.
I just love the way RNG's itemizing. When you are playing against this type of lineup of Geek Fam, eventually they're able to fight you, which they saw. Now you have to itemize to actually pick them off, which is what RNG did. First, they itemized to group up and just walk down buildings, and now they itemize to actually catch people, which they're now able to do.
Okay.
Rubik getting caught in the back.
He tries to go for it. The GA is going to be popped. It's not going to do enough, of course, to save September. He has to get away with it. The damage from Setsu just tears him apart. K will fall. He has got buyback on the Storm Spirit, but the middle racks are gone. RNG will take another. Let's jump in. Silence on toward them. Buyback from K. He's looking to zip in half for the cleanup. He's on to Super. Super's going to be the focus. Red will be pop, but K gets himself out of range. Will keep the distance. Setsu falling a little low. Still has the Aegis and the BKB to rely on. They'll burst him once. Can they do it again? Silence on Monet. Immediately removed as he'll turn. Rage up. Push them back. Can't quite get the kills. Geek Fam as RNG able to step in. Only lose an Aegis. And now begin to retreat. And they can reset, look to sort of rinse and repeat this down on the bottom lane as they do continue to keep this game firmly under control.
I just love these games to be opportunities of learning for people at home watching. Games like this really do follow a script, you know, and this has actually been a very high-level game from both teams. I think both teams are doing what their lineups needed to do. RNG, I just think, had an easier lineup in the early game, so they accrued a natural lead, so Geek Fam's kind of been on the defensive the whole game. But like I said, they group up, they take that first racks, but then they have that little bit of slip-up where Geek Fam's suddenly been playing efficiently enough to fight you, and you're like, okay, it's not enough to just walk down lanes anymore. We can't just keep buying team items. We have to buy items that allow us to threaten these split pushing heroes. So they go the Blink Dagger on Rubik, the Shadow Blade SF to follow up, and suddenly you have to be scared on the side of Geek Fam. You're not playing efficiently anymore. Now this net worth leads turn into 11K because you're forced to buy back on the Storm Sphere, 12K even, and you've taken 2 lanes of racks at this point. Just this very, very methodical, well understood dissection of the Geek Fam draft by RNG here. But as you've said, I think Geek Fam's played their draft rather well past like the 15-minute mark. They've done what they needed to do, but RNG looking to put the nail in the coffin here with a 3-man smoke. Anyone that catches a crucial kill, even the supports at this point, just fighting 4v5 on Geek Fam's side is not going to feel good.
I mean, what do you think is going to be the big takeaway for Geek Fam in regards to Drow from this game? Is it going to be that, okay, guys, we cannot first pick Drow against this team? Or?
I think you might have to ban Omni Knight against RNG. I think they rely way too much on this hero. Like, I don't mean they only are good at this hero, but they are like clearly very good with this hero. And if you're gonna pick Drow, you can't give them Omni.
On the front lines, KUKU. He's going to be saved. K trying to jump into the back lines. The multi-shot doing quite a lot. September's falling. Let's be triple silence here. AFS will be there to keep moving. So KUKU tries for a very ambitious duel. Does end in disaster for him as he'll lose the fight, lose the battle. And as it looks to be, Geek Fam maybe just losing the war right here as this bottom racks is taken away from them. RNG just cleaning up the base of Geek Fam. 14-8, 13K lead, and a lead that they have held the entirety of this match. Another zip in, looking for September, but the Ghost Scepter, he's fine. Super won't be quite as fine. They do stop the Venge. But the other 4 of RNG, they can still fight on with a man down. They are just that far ahead right now. Jumping again. They'll try for another bit of a poke. Silence onto Monet and Flywin. But they won't get any other kill other than the Venge. All racks are now gone, and the Mega Creeps are out in favor for RNG.
Yeah, that's Legion Commander in 7.23 for you. How much duel damage does he have? Like,
I think he won 1 duel,
yeah,
but I think he also lost 1 duel.
Yeah, it's like you blink in, the opponent has way more farm than you because they've been grouping up and you have too. But oh yeah, Omni Knight has 18 duel damage, as you said. This Halberd is super value, the status resistance, the disarm on these ranged heroes lasting longer than it does on melee heroes. I mean, they're trying, man. They're trying.
Do manage to silence the 2 of them, but lift up, and K just, he cannot withstand this right click coming out for Setsu, but Raven K turns, shoots him down. That's a pretty big kill if they can get away from this Geek Fam. Turning onto September. September's Ghost Scepter keeps him 5 out. September looking to lead it. KUKU, he gets the jewel on the Rubik. September falls. 3 dead at the moment on RNG with the Dream Core down. They're going to try and look for another. Monet jumps in with the Infest. He's running away in the creep. They don't have any way to control it. The creep will manage to get Monet back to safety. But Simon, Mega Creeps are against them. But you know, you got to give it to them. They're fighting on, Geek Fam. This is not a team that's going to back down.
Yeah, they are fighting till their last breath, and it is not over till the fat lady sings. And as far as I know, at this tournament, there haven't been any fat ladies yet, so nobody's singing. We sang though.
We did.
Debatably. poorly.
I was going to say, can you really call it singing, Brian?
Yeah, I like to think we tried.
Well, we got 99% win probability according to Dota Plus right now, and
What's the 1%?
you can see, I mean, the 1% is players like that, right? Setsu dying in a game where you don't expect him to die because of how massive he is.
Being a part of the 1% yourself, Owen, you
Oh,
got to help
yeah.
us out. The expertise of winning as the 1%. What do you do here? What's the process? How does a Geek fan pull it back?
I think you might need to sort of step over and kick out some of the cables of RNG's PCs. I don't think you're ready to do that 1%. I don't think that's a 1%
So
in
what
game.
you're
You've got to
saying
do some real world
for the
activities.
1% to be successful, you have to kick out the base foundation of the 99%. I'm just kidding. Okay, back to the game.
This
Storm Spirit
is very
responded.
technical, Brian.
I'm going Kyle on you right now. Dubu does go down, does have buyback though. Might have to take one last fight here.
Raven.
Can't let Raven go down.
Oh, nice slide down to the low ground. Can he run away from this, Raven? He'll try his best. KUKU is there by his side, trying to keep him safe. He's into the trees, he's trying to hide. The silence is out, he'll turn with a gust. Does manage to get himself over the trees, but Mone's on top of him. Raven will fall.
Oh, they see him nice, the lift instantly when he's TPing. KUKU go down as well.
And KUKU does have buyback. They have all got buybacks. Raven's already used it. Geek fam, they'll have one more fight in them.
This Omni Knight's got 26 armor and a pipe and a halberd, man. And if you don't kill him, how do you kill anyone else? That's my concern.
You know, Dubu didn't need to use his buyback. You know, silver linings.
True.
They've got 2 lives on the bait. But KUKU, they're going in and K goes up the back. Let's put the BKB. They'll take Scepter out of the fight immediately. That's one down. Dubu does fall by K. He will fall though. Bashed up and controlled. The storm is out for 80 seconds. KUKU trying to slide away. Will be able to get away from the reaches of Setsu. And that's a G, and that's the second one there. GG is called. Geek Fan will finally tap out of this game as RNG take the victory. Geek Fan tried as hard as they could to hold on, but the lead that RNG had, the size that Setsu grew to, it was too much for them to deal with. RNG ahead the whole game, and they'll take this win pretty, you know, that was 1%. That was the 1%. That was